Hi, this is Bishop Craig in Lansing, and this is take one for the week of February 23rd. Peace be with you. We make our way into Lent this week. We will have Ash Wednesday services at 11:30 on Wednesday at our office at St. Stephen's in Lansing. It'll include Holy Communion, the imposition of ashes. Pastor Sprang is preaching and leading worship, and we invite you to join us. Pastor David will also be at St. Luke's in Grand Rapids, leading Ash Wednesday services Wednesday evening. Pastor Marcy Miller is moving into retirement, and Pastor David Blank continues to recover from surgery, so we're helping out at St. Luke. We remember these pastors in our prayers during these significant transitions. I will then be at St. Luke for the first Sunday in Lent, and Pastor Sprang will be at Augustana in Tustin as intern Alex Ross ends his time of internship and prepares to move into the assignment and call process. We pray for Alex. And Pastor Anderson will be at Christ the King in Gladwin, where she is preaching and leading a church council retreat. So that's how we're beginning our Lent. How are you beginning your Lent? I've been giving some thought to what I'm going to do for Lent, and the more I think about it, the more complicated it gets. There are 4 things I want to do for Lent, and I'm probably going to end up adding a 5th. So I think that's right. The 4 that I want to do are, first of all, to eat healthy, to exercise daily, to write regularly. I'm working on a book. And to not blow these disciplines that I'll begin on Wednesday, to not blow them by the first Sunday in Lent, which tends to be my pattern. Those are all good things, except when I open the reading for the gospel reading for the first Sunday in Lent, and it is the familiar temptation narrative, this one from Matthew. And since we begun this liturgical year, first Sunday in Advent, my discipline as I read these texts, I've been preaching on them for more than 30 years, is to say, okay, you think you know what this text is about, this reading is about, you need to set that aside and look for something new. And I do know what these readings are about. I preached on them for a lot of years. But as I set that aside and look at the temptation of Jesus by Satan, the 3 temptations, it occurs to me that these temptations are all to get Jesus to do what is in his best interest, if you will. If you are the Son of God, twice Satan says to Jesus, the tempter says, if you are the Son of God, do these things. Prove that you're the Son of God. And then from the mountain, when he sees all the glories of all the kingdoms of the world and all their glories, I'll give this to you. You will be a successful son of God if you'll fall down and worship me. So I'm struggling with the fact that I'm taking up Lenten disciplines, exercise, writing, eating well, that are really in my best interest. At the surface, at least, this is not something I'm doing for others. Except that as I sit with these 3 disciplines, I realize that Kathy would be in a much happier place if I exercised and if I ate healthy, and if I had a pastime. One of my pastimes is writing, and devoted some time to that pastime rather than to bishoping all the time. So the first thing I'm thinking about, I'm working on, that I invite you to work on, is what is your motivation for your Lenten discipline, and can we dig through, stuff that at first seems healthy to us or helpful to us, and see how it is of service to others. What is and does that provide some motivation? I don't have the answers here. But what I do know is that this reading is not about being strong like Jesus, resisting temptation like Jesus, because I know I can't do that. As I tell you, my practice is to have blown my Lenten discipline by the first Sunday in Lent, and then to try again. Jesus remains faithful to God. Jesus resists temptation because Jesus is Jesus. And Jesus does that for us. All the way through, Jesus resists temptation. Jesus remains faithful to God, even when it leads him to the cross and to death, for us. Jesus is faithful for us when we cannot be faithful to God for ourselves. So it's not about resisting temptation like Jesus. It's about living into the life that Jesus has made for me, for you, for us. This question of, if you are the Son of God, if you are the Son of God, if you are the Son of God, I'm remembering back to Jesus' baptism when, the voice said, you're the Son, the Beloved, and that our baptism, we are claimed as children of God, heirs of the promise and servants of all. I'm intrigued in the reading by the fact that angels come and serve Jesus after he, resists the temptations. They wait on Jesus. I'm thinking of fine service at a fine restaurant. They they kind of, it's almost like they care for somebody who's been sick, I guess, or attend to someone who has needs, or encourage and strengthen someone who has more to do. And this is because Jesus is God's beloved one, God's beloved Son. And we are God's beloved ones. We are God's beloved children. And I think that God, because of Jesus, also sends angels, messengers to wait on, to serve us, to help us when we are down, to provide for us when we are sick, to encourage us when we have more to do. So maybe the biggest Lenten discipline that I will take on this Lent is to attend to, be aware of, to appreciate the angels, the messengers that God sends to me to wait on, to serve me when I need it and when I have more work to do. And as someone who, because of a disability, was raised and works hard to remain independent, and that's a really good thing, because I would not be where I am without that drive. It might be a good thing. It will be a good thing, and a hard thing to attend to be aware of, and to appreciate the angels that God sends to me, to care for me, to wait on me, to serve me, to encourage me when I need it. So there's the bottom line Lenten discipline, as I exercise daily and eat healthily and try to write regularly. And so I'm wondering, who are the angels that God sends to wait upon, to serve, and to encourage you? And who are the angels that God sends to wait upon, to serve, and to encourage your congregation? And who are the angels that God sends to wait upon, to serve, and to encourage our church? I wonder where I will be, where we would be, if as we make our Lenten journey, we make it a point to, we make a point, my screen just went blank, sorry. If as we make our Lenten journey, we make a point to notice the angels that God is sending to walk alongside us, to care for us, and to bring us to Easter. Those are my thoughts for the first few days as we anticipate and enter into Lent. I hope it is a holy season for you. Peace be with you.